Welcome everyone to the live stream of Komodo. We are here going to be talking about the AtomicDEX Web Alpha launch. So we have AMA, and we have been receiving all your questions for the last few days, and we have received a ton of them. And we will be soon starting to answer them. But we also have some other fun activities, such as a quiz. And there's a bounty pool, 3,000 USD paid in KMD in total. And we also take some live questions. And if your questions get selected, then you will win 100 USD. So stay tuned, and we are going to talk more about that soon. First, though, we are going to take a little overview of the AtomicDEX Web app. And you can find that from the address app.atomicdex.io. And we have a little teaser prepared for you. And after that, we are going to take a little overview. So let's take a look. All right, so there you have it. A little chance to get excited. And here you can see the app itself. And it's indeed like a non-custodial wallet. There's built-in DEX, fully peer-to-peer. We have a bridge, so we are cross-protocol. And it's all now in the browser, which is a huge deal. We already have a mobile app as well as a desktop app release that you can also check out from atomicdex.io. But today we are here talking about specifically the web app, this browser app. And it's all working inside the browser. But we are going to be talking a lot more about that with our CTO Kadan and COO Tony just in a few moments here. But I want to first tell you guys how to join the quiz and to send us questions. So we're going to jump into another stream here. So here's the address. So you can go to slido.com and use the code AtomicDEX to enter our like a portal. And through the portal, you can send your questions to the live segment. And then also once we get started with the quiz, then it will also be there. So it will pop up. There's nothing else to do. Just go there and you're all good to go. And what we ask you is that you use your username on Discord or Telegram. So that way we can find you if you win a bounty. So it's important to use that name. And just to show that, we have also showing you like how to do it here. So once you enter the URL, you can also find it from the YouTube chat. So go to the URL, put your name there. But if you already put the name, you were too quick, you can still change it later by going to the upper corner and finding your profile information. And there you can change the name. So that's all you need to know for now. Once we enter the quiz segment, I'm going to explain the rules and instructions for what's going to be happening. But before that, you have the time to send your questions there and listen to the answer of the pre-selected questions. So I'm going to now bring in our guests from the Komodo team. So first up, we have Kadan Stadelmann, the CTO of Komodo. How are you doing, Kadan?
Hey, Aldo. Hi, guys, community. Thanks, doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing excellent. Thank you.
Nice.
Let's bring in also Tony Lysakov, the COO. How are you doing, Tony?
Hello, hello. Everything is good. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, and I want to also let everyone know that there's we are going to be asking some questions through the Slido. So we have a quiz prepared. I'm going to activate that now. So we are asking how often are you using AtomicDEX, and you can help us to understand like who you are and how many new people we might have here. So you can either answer that users learned about it, or perhaps you have known about it, but it's still not your default wallet, or maybe you are already actively using it like on a daily basis as your main wallet. So we're interested to hear your answer to these questions. So once you have a chance to join in to the Slido portal, then the quiz will be active there, and you can answer that. But now we are gonna jump in to the questions. So are you guys ready? We have question number 1. Question 1 is from Parto Aska in Twitter, and he's asking, what is the advantage of using the AtomicDEX wallet? What is the difference between the mobile and desktop versions? And are there any plans for offline transactions?
All right. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I think I will take this one. So, yeah, actually, there are many advantages of AtomicDEX usage, but at first, it's 100% non-custodial solution, as well as P2P and decentralized. So it relies on the network of distributed nodes. And unlike many other implementations, we did not make any compromise when it comes to security and decentralization. We just always stick to our core vision. And we are building this tech for close to a decade and have turned it into the third generation product with the latest AtomicDEX Web release and this web compatible wallet. And yeah, and even if that's not enough, we even added like into this wallet P2P DEX and bridge with widest asset support in industry. And yeah, it's as well as one of the rare wallets in industry which is fully open sourced and this technological stack. And so yeah, if answer on the second part of the question, like your second question, what is the difference between the mobile and desktop version? Right now, there is not much difference. The key difference right now is that the assets lists are different, but features are plus minus the same. You can reuse the same seat like in any application, but the main difference is that it's supporting different assets. But in the next release of mobile application, we want to fully sync assets between all of them. So mobile will support much more. So it should be a huge release. I'm very excited about this one. And yeah, the third part of this question is any plans for offline transactions? To be honest, I've not fully understood this question because yeah, it's almost impossible to broadcast transaction without connection to internet network. And maybe we can do with some radio signals, but it's quite tricky. So yeah, I'm not sure what you meant by this question. Maybe it's like a offline transaction. Maybe it's a necessity of being offline during the swap. And yeah, we are researching such protocol enhancements. So yeah, I hope it answers your question. And yes, thank you. Thank you for asking. Yeah, if you want to add something, say, feel free.
Yeah, I think it was a great question regarding like the last part, offline full agreement here. I mean, it's a tricky part, right? I've seen people also like in academic circles discuss the possibility of like an offline transaction system in case the network goes down. There's, like you said, yeah, radio signals and other means of like mesh network capabilities that would enable you to kind of exchange data. But then again, it's isolated. You'd then again have kind of like to rely on trust, like to a certain degree. Will this really be broadcasted afterwards? And you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's like a very interesting question, definitely something that we're looking into, like offline and interaction decrease in capabilities for AtomicDEX to make sure that users wouldn't have to be online throughout the entire swap process is something we're working on. Our like engineers are researching. But yeah, overall, very, very interesting. And of course, like we have a layer 2, right? Like sections evolving really fast, like on AtomicDEX right now, coming, I think, for like Bitcoin, and later on the team will definitely like look into the expansion. There's Tony just told me today, huge like number of like L2, you know, like chain extensions. Now everyone's basically extending his blockchain to this layer 2 capabilities for various efficiency reasons. But yeah, overall, I think perfectly answered. I couldn't really add something. Thank you.
Excellent. Then we are going to move on to the question number 2. And this one is from Cryptosaurus from Discord. And he's asking, I think the platform is getting shaped for a wider usage, but the most difficult part is liquidity. What are the plans to add more liquidity to the order books of AtomicDEX?
Yeah, since this is like a topic we've been like actually all like working on very recently, and I've like specifically took like a deeper dive, I'll take this one. So looking at the like liquidity topic, and I think it's justified to name it and call it the liquidity problem, because it is indeed like a problem, and the only problem like within our like DEX network, that there is like a quite limited liquidity available. Maybe just in the beginning, like to add like a positive information is that this is intended, right? It's not something that we don't want, right? It's actually something that we did want. We have like active warnings out, right? We don't want people to put too much like of funds into the network, as long as it's not like really fully set and certified, right, in the wider sense. And I'll touch base on that a bit later. So for the liquidity, I'll separate it into 2 pieces here, right? Like we have a technological component, we have a non-technological, basically the economic component of the liquidity problem. As for the technological solution, the team has done like an amazing job here, right? We have like a light trading bot implementation that's a native part of like MM2. There's like more work taking place on this layer. And I think most importantly, and here really like the holy grail for like the liquidity enhancement is like the liquidity multiplying feature within the AtomicDEX, right? The feature we have there like for as long as I've been working on BarterDEX. I mean, that's been like an idea and a vision of James Lee, JL777 from like version 1 of BarterDEX, and that basically enables you to just take funds and place them into like this order book network, but to reuse the funds as long as the orders are not being like matched and actually like used, right? So we can see like from the biggest exchanges that a key, like probably the biggest part of the liquidity just sits in there. Or you know what I mean? Like, so it's an amazing like benefit here. And this is like an advantage compared to other like DEXs, DeFi solutions, that you're able to, let's say, take $10,000 worth of crypto. Okay, let's take like 1 Bitcoin as a number. We don't like fiat valuations, so let's like stick to crypto here. And with that 1 BTC, I could literally instantly create like an order book that's like 1,000 Bitcoins deep, right? Like for 100 different assets, and whatever like swaps get matched first will just reduce the order depth within the other like, you know, like orders that we've pulled up. That alone, from a technological perspective, provides basically a very, very convenient, but then economically efficient tool to provide liquidity in this network. Then now to the second part, to the economical, to the non-technological component, and that's like really like the tricky part here. And we also hear the team's done a great job. So let me start with that. We do have like a professional market maker, LP service. That's a company specialized in trading that do provide market making services for us, like for our company, for Komodo, the asset, right? Like on various exchanges, etc. we are now in the process of extending basically like these agreements, these contracts with these LPs, but then we also expanded our network in LP connections, that we now have additional players. We have an additional party that we're basically communicating with, setting and preparing actual like contractual agreements to have them start actually do the market making services within the AtomicDEX network, as opposed to the centralized exchanges they're doing it on right now. The only obstacle there right now is an external like security certification and basically a full external security assessment. This process takes between 3 and 6 months and is something that we've already like kickstarted. We've kickstarted it internally, right? So the code that you see now, the end user products and all the applications, right? Most of this, right, over 90% of it is fully secure code reviewed and assessed, right? We even go deep into like third-party dependencies, libraries. Any code that we do reuse will be like fully vetted, right? So we make sure there's nothing like malicious, no key stealers, etc. whatsoever, right? Next step now is bringing like the architecture like of AtomicDEX, right? Like the core API into the next level, right? That's a stage that's happening now. There's refactorings taking place, various interface enhancements. We should remember a lot like of the interface, definitions come like from the old days of AtomicDEX, right? So the interface is like a bit outdated. We kind of have like redundant methods. So from a technological perspective, there's a bit of work to be done. At the same time, we are onboarding external like security experts for an external assessment, and that will like bring AtomicDEX and AtomicDEX Web to a level where it legally and technically could be operated from within a spaceship or from within a very critical hospital infrastructure, right? For example, that's just like to how secure the software would be, right? Not that it already is, but we want like the independent certification, because right now it's all based on trust, despite the codes being open source and publicly available. Show me like one user who's like reviewed all codes and sub-dependencies, over 1 million lines of code in total. It's not realistic, right? No one's going to do it. No one's going to do it for any like wallet out there. And I'm sure that like, 90% of the other like wallets in the space, they don't go like this extra mile, right? We've been like very hesitant with hyping our technology, with like kind of, praising it like too much. But I think now like really comes the time to like kind of like push this, and that will like include the enhancement of like the liquidity providing. And that's also something we will like definitely kickstart, right, with these LP services, just as aforementioned, to basically create a healthy, competitive ecosystem for various market makers, LPs, right? Most of them don't know it today. If I talk to 10 professional crypto traders, they don't know AtomicDEX, right? So we haven't really like had this target, audience, etc. And yeah, I hope this answer like this question on our plans, on the strategy on how to enhance the liquidity.
That was a very comprehensive answer, and I think there's a lot that goes to that. Like it's like our team, we have always been very conservative, and everyone should be conservative because we are talking about essentially money and a lot of value, and that's what's not going on in the industry today. Like it's a lot of risk taking for with a profit motive. So a lot of projects are pushing code and then trying to get people to use it and risking a lot of money, and that's how we hear about all the hacks happening left and right every month. There seems to be a hack, and that's something I remember like you you'll be predicting long ago that we are going to be seeing a lot of hacks, and that's what we indeed are seeing. So Tony, is there anything you want to add to this question, or shall we move to the next one?
I think it was quite a good and comprehensive answer, and we have to answer to other questions. So
yeah. All right, let's go to question number 3. So question 3 comes from Nagato in Twitter, and he's asking, security is an important factor if the community is considered to be the backbone. So is your project currently audited or not? How do you convince that your security system is safe enough for investors as well as for the community against the hacker attacks?
I'm sorry, Tony, at this point, but I think I'm like predestined like for this question. So I'll take that one as well, also for the community and everyone here. Prepare for now like 10 to 20 minute comprehensive like outline of like core deep security technological matters. So where do we start? Okay. Let's look at the core like peer-to-peer stack of the AtomicDEX, like core library. And here specifically like the peer-to-peer. No, just kidding, like your joke aside. So as aforementioned, really we take the security aspect of the software like super serious. Really, I think that's like one thing where they say like appraisal in the man's own mouth stinks, but here I'm okay with like praising us and say that we really like go probably even an extra mile. And there's probably a certain level of like paranoia within the team, right? Like there's a lot of hackers around. We have internal security experts. We have old school hackers here. So people who know what's possible on a low level technological basis, right? Like what you can do, how you can infiltrate systems. There's endless possibilities, and having these internal resources, right? Like the own internal like skill sets and capabilities in defeating like attacks. I mean, we've been really in the space for like close to 10 years. We didn't have one single like hack or something where users like, got wrecked. That was one event. But when you Google startup hacked itself, you'll see like the outcome of that, one time where we, had a security problem. So we're very, very, very confident here. I'm knocking on wood that our own internal like capabilities are already like beyond the level and capabilities of an average like software development firm, right? Like most crypto projects, wallet providers, DEX, DeFi devs, they're developers, right? Like technological people, highly skilled people, right? I'm not saying that they're incompetent or something, but they're not security experts, right? That's something I think this is like the big benefit here, that we have like 2 to 3 people like within our team, including myself, that do have like a core security background, right? The project, and here just like to quickly wrap this up, because I've basically outlined this in the previous answer, is yes, the project, we can say it's audited. All sub-dependencies are pinned, right? We have integrity checks and validations here, right? Like, so we don't just review the code or do an audit and say, okay, it's good, but we actually like make sure that nothing can happen afterwards, right? There's a security strategy in place. Then within the developer circles, there is formal review processes. So they will again read the codes, check what are our teammates contributing. So there's like really like multiple 3 levels, 4 levels of peer independent reviewing from a security perspective. So yes, here I'm confident to say that this all that I've outlined now as an answer for the previous question does like convince me definitely that it's like safe enough like for financial operations. And don't forget, we've been running a 2-year open beta program. We've just like released AtomicDEX Web as an alpha. I've received DMs from people telling me, hey, why you say it's an alpha? This is like better than like the beta like from this and that. I say, yeah, because like technically for us, like looking at it like and being realistic and like honest, it's an alpha software, all right? That's it. But yeah, I hope that answers it. And we're always like vigilant. We're always like looking. We have like security monitoring systems. So yeah, we take this like hyper serious.
Yeah, I think that these 2 questions were excellent that we just went through, and everyone in the industry should be listening in and hearing what we are saying here, and we should be learning from the mistake as the blockchain industry. Now we're gonna go to the next question, which is the question number 4, and this is from Sanchez in Discord, asking, given the recent events in the crypto space, will genuinely decentralized and secure DEXs, such as an AtomicDEX, be one, if not the leading area in crypto during the next bull run? And would increased security bring confidence and corporate investments into the industry?
All right, yeah, I will take this question. I think, yeah, recent events are definitely crazy. Like, so yeah, I'm not sure, like at advanced, if it's going to be the leading area, since the past is shown, like encrypted community proven in the past that it's quite often making non-logical and sometimes even destructive decisions. And as you see, I mean, and yeah, I'm in industry from 2016, I think, and again, I see like how communities and people like self-destructing each other and just taking out value. And so I believe the only things that needs to happen is people starting to realize and learn that yes, CeFi tech destroys the whole purpose of crypto, and it's a paradox, and this paradox needs to be fixed for sure. And people will then realize that all they need is blockchain tech, and the future is in a pure P2P fashion, which DEXs are, and I think this could even turn DEX and DeFi into the next bull trigger, because yeah, that's why we are using crypto, right? To not rely on the central party, on the single party, but most of the crypto now storing on the centralized exchanges, most of the liquid crypto, I mean, and yeah, that's something is not right with that. Hopefully there will be paradigm shift, and for sure it will help our project because the target audience will become bigger and bigger when more people will realize that self-custody is important. But we for sure from our side we will try our best and put efforts on educating people to help like this paradigm shift happens faster. So and we keep doing it, like explaining people that it's important to use non-custodial solutions and AtomicDEX. So I hope I'm answering this question.
Yes, very well. Thank you for the answer, Tony. And now we're got to move on. So we got the last question of the pre-selected and asked questions. This one is from the Sea of Haley, asking in Discord. Data is something that needs to be stored very sensitively. Will AtomicDEX keep our personal data safe while processing the data?
Okay, since it's again like a security specific question, I'd like to take that one. So here where to start with is probably like to clarify that AtomicDEX does never, right, send or exchange any sensitive data with any external endpoint or party, right? So it's all isolated within your local environment, okay? Looking at WebDEX now in specific, there's additional security assessments going on. We're pen testing it, right? There would always be the possibility, and we've seen in the past, that there's, for example, unknown zero-day vulnerabilities in web browsers that would enable a malicious party to abuse such a Z-day with a specific exotic exploit to access another tab's data. Just like one example here, right? Like that could pose potential risk and threat. But then again, that was something that would be based on an issue within the actual web browser, not the AtomicDEX. So AtomicDEX is using the means of technology that we get like provided by, you know, Mozilla, Google, whoever is like working on these huge technology stacks, and use that. So I'd like to add here that I can say, right, from my standpoint, that yes, your data are to a 99% stored securely, safely, with a sane encryption algorithm, with sane, you know, like cryptographic like rotations, with possibly like salt values, etc., etc. So what I want to say is like, we'll make sure your data isn't just there in a TXT file, which is called seed, right? Like, so we'll make sure this stuff is actually like set safely, securely, and stored safely, securely. That's also why there's a requirement to provide like additional like passphrases. It's not to annoy users, you know, with these kind of like UI blockers. It's really just like for the purpose of like encrypting data and making sure it's stored like securely and safely. So just, yeah, to answer this question more like globally is like, we do our like best like to store data if it needs to be stored for user comfort, for efficiency, to store it as safe and secure as possible. But I always like to highlight that there is no 100% security in no information technology system. There is always a way to hack and crack anything. Right now, there is an active zero-day exploit or vulnerability available that would enable anyone to get like into your browser and from there into your file system, which should like by mean of their architecture be not possible. But I am just like throwing this out into the wild. I know how Z-Day markets work, how hackers work, black hats work. There are for sure this like kind of vulnerabilities around in different like technological stacks. There's a statistic that says like over 80-90% of all smartphones is vulnerable, could be accessed, controlled remotely, webcams and microphones turned on, etc., right? That's with the majority of the phones that are out there. But then you have to ask, who's going to use that? Who's going to get a hold of such a vulnerability? Will it be used to target one person to get some coins, or might this be actually used for state level operations where you use such resources, very dedicated, very targeted, right? It's like when quantum computing becomes an actual thing, they won't use it to crack some random like Bitcoin keys or whatever. They probably use it like to crack some critical communication systems, etc., right? So here, to wrap it up, sum it up, never assume, right, that any wallet or application you use is secure or safe just because someone says it is. I've seen wallets out there that claim most secure wallet, right? If I look into them, if I check their Gits, if I look into stuff, I mean, I see things, suboptimal stuff, the overuse of centralized endpoints, etc., etc. I know there's like vulnerabilities everywhere out there, right? So just because we would say it is, like, don't believe, don't trust that. With AtomicDEX, read the code if you can to like validate and verify what I just said. But overly, I'm very, very confident that our team is doing probably one of the best jobs in the industry when it comes like to user data encryption and sensitive data handling and management.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, like, is that it's always important to separate the cold storage and hot storage. And for cold storage, it's better to use hardware wallets, and that's why we're adding support of the hardware wallets to increase the security, to give user possibility to utilize the cold storage and at the same time use AtomicDEX, because you never should use a hot wallet as a cold storage, like a long-term storage. It's very important in crypto.
Yeah, that's a good point. And with that, now we have to move on, so we stay on schedule. But I want to remind everyone, because I see there's tons of questions up into the YouTube, but you actually need to send them to the Slido. So go to the Slido link, and there is a place to send the questions, and that's what we'll be looking at when we come to the live question segment. But before that, we are going to the quiz. So we are gonna change the screen here. Let's take a look at the answers that we received for the first poll. So it looks like a lot of people from the audience are closely following what we do and using the app, but they're also using other wallets. So that's interesting, good stats to have. And here you can see then the questions that are coming in, and you can also upvote them. So if you go to Slido and you scroll to the questions, and the ones you think should be answered, give them an upvote, and those will come first to our screen as when we go to and see and Tony will start to select the questions. So the upvoting function is a handy one. So everything is happening through the Slido, so be sure to be there. And also you need to be there right now because we are going to the quiz. So the quiz is now activated, and we have to wait a few moments that people sign up. And while we wait, I'm gonna talk more about the rules and how this thing is gonna work. So in total, there's a big prize pool of $2,200 US, which is gonna be paid in KMD. And there's gonna be 5. The top 5 will win. The first place will get $800. The second place 500, and then from 3 to 5th place will get $300. So it's good prices. So let's wait that everyone signs up, so we give a chance. And then the rules. So of course you have to answer correctly, and then who answers the most questions correctly is going to be towards the top. But then there's also a time element, so you need to try to answer them as quickly as you can. And even though you can answer a question, but if you later find out that it's actually the wrong one, you still have a chance to change your answer. So also be aware of that. But of course, when you change your answer, then that adds to your time. So something to keep in mind. And also, there's a timer in each questions. It depends on the question. So short questions have about 30 seconds of time, and then there's some few longer ones that have 40 seconds or even 50 seconds of time window to answer. And that should be all the instructions. And if there's any questions, you can use the YouTube chat, and we have our team there, Sena is there to answer questions and so on. I hope now everyone is ready, because we have to get going. Seems like we have tons of people. Okay, now everyone prepare yourself. The first question: what was the first Komodo KMD block, and when was it mined? So A, 2016, B, 2017, or C, 2018? And you can see the timer on the corner. And it seems like most people have gotten the right answer. We are going to see the answer after each question. And most people say 2016, and that is the correct answer. And then we're going to go to the next question. And after that, there's like a leaderboard stop, so we can see who's leading at the moment. So the next question: true or false? With the web version, you no longer need to log in before browsing the UI. So with the web version specifically, do you need to log in before browsing the UI? True or false? And most people got it right. It is true. With the desktop mobile versions, you need to actually create an account and log in before you can see the interface. But with web, we changed it so that if you are new, you can still browse and see the menu, see the text, and see that there's a bridge, and kind of get introduction before you actually commit to signing up and making a wallet and making a seed and logging in. Now let's take a look at the leaderboard. We have Tony. Tony leading.
Yeah, I'm out of competition. Like,
yeah, Tony cannot win. And next one, Lexon, Vicky, Code, and Sean. So there you can see how many correct answers and what's the timer. And there's 8 questions in total, so 6 to go. So still time to get to the leaderboard. Let's go to the next question. True or false? AtomicDEX is a non-custodial wallet, meaning that no third party can access your funds.
I mean, anyone saying false now will be trolling.
Yes, a lot of these questions we kind of answered, or the answers have been given.
50-50, imagine.
Well, some people didn't know. But it is indeed non-custodial. So it means that when you store your keys or your coins in a wallet as AtomicDEX, then you are in control and no one else can access your funds, which is very important in crypto. But majority, from what I know, actually keep their coins in an exchange. But then there's risks. So the exchange could get hacked. It could get out of business. So you don't have access to your funds in that case. The next one also is a true or false question. True or false? Atomic swap technology uses AMM liquidity pools. So AMM liquidity pools are something that many DEXs use, such as the Uniswap, PancakeSwap. But are we using them with atomic swaps? And let's see the correct answer. False. So we are not using AMM liquidity pools.
Well, I'm surprised it's quite close to 50-50 actually.
Yeah, but in a way, it's very common. Like all the other DEXs actually basically use this technology, and so it's unique. We have a different type of a solution, which is the key for the cross-protocol bridging that we have, the unique feature and differentiator of AtomicDEX. So now again, leaderboard. Lexon still took the leading position. And there you have it. Let's keep moving on. Next question coming. This is the halfway point now. Which of the following protocols is not currently supported natively in AtomicDEX? Avalanche, Bitcoin Cash, Polkadot, or Dash? So which protocol is not supported? And we are, of course, supporting a lot of protocols, and we keep adding more and more support each year. And we are looking to support basically everything, at least 99% of tokens. Let's see the correct answer. So it was the Polkadot that we don't yet support. Moving on to the next question. The current version of AtomicDEX Web supports third-party wallet. Which one is it? Trezor, Ledger, MetaMask, Kepler. Is that how it's pronounced? That's a tricky name.
Yeah, it's Kepler. Kepler is our leading browser wallet in Cosmos ecosystem.
These might be tricky questions if those who are not too familiar with AtomicDEX. Correct answer is Trezor. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. We have Tony still leading. But again, Tony won't win the prize. So basically it's a Ginger design or a long-term community member. Good job. And it looks like, yeah, 2 people, including and Tony, have gotten everything correct so far. Then two more questions remain. Next one. In January 2012, AtomicDEX integrated how many new protocols? And there's a hint. You can visit the roadmap to find the answer. We also made a blog post announcement and talked about this. So there's a bit more time, so you can check it out. But if you have been paying attention, you should remember how many it was. as most people have it correct. That's impressive. And indeed, it's the 13 new protocols. That was a massive update we did. And now the final question. Choose the true statements about Kadan's background. Kadan is a white hat hacker. Kadan used to work in cybersecurity for a government, or Kadan learned about Bitcoin in 2020. So there can be one or more correct answers here. And the correct answers are the first two. Cool. Are you guys ready to see the winners? Here we go. Congratulations to...
I responded wrongly on the last question, like on purpose, to not be like on the first
Oh, you're
place.
still on top.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah.
Ginger Design is the winner.
Yeah, I will not get the prize. Congratulations to all the winners. Yeah, nice job. And knowing Komodo and AtomicDEX Web.
So we will tell you who's the fifth one because it's not visible yet. But Ginger Design wins $800 in KMD. We will be DMing you in Discord. Then we have Crypto Mole winning $500. And next we have Alex Rehman, $300, and Bull, another 300, and the last one is Sean. So congratulations to everyone. So that went well, and yeah, we will find out you either from Discord or Telegram. Also feel free to DM us if that helps, but what we will verify that we for sure are talking to the right person before sending anything. And that's going to wrap that quiz segment. So then we're going to bring also CA back to the stream as we move on to the next segment, which is the live Q&A. So we're going to be starting to take a look at the questions. So now it's like the last time to give the upvotes and to send your questions in. And what's going to be happening is as we scroll through the questions, then Tony and Kadan will find a question that they think are a good one to answer. And then again, like the question we pick wins a bounty. So let me then share the questions. So here are they. You guys haven't been upvoting too much, but here are questions. So we will just keep scrolling a little bit, and once you guys, if you find something you want to answer, just tell me to stop.
Yeah, I cannot hear you say. For some reason.
Yeah, some technical difficulties, but we do have time. Is there anything, Tony, you find you would like to take?
Yeah, I found like I already found like a question. One question I like. The question is like, could rapid advancement in AI, such as a newly publicly available and free ChatGPT, lead to more hacking centralized exchanges? So yeah, it's an interesting question and funny. I mean, yeah, I played with OpenAI during like last few weeks a lot as well, and it's really cool. And yeah, I mean, it's super scary. Like it seems the singularity is quite close, and but it's hard to say like how AI can hack centralized exchanges. Maybe like this social engineering somehow. I don't know, like you can tell AI, yeah, please contact these people, please chat with them to get their access to key centralized infrastructure, something like that. But yeah, I don't think that like this free chat GTP will lead to more hacks of sexes, but it's definitely interesting. Like, is it you made such a connection? Yeah, I think I think CA do have like interesting thoughts on that matter, but yeah, unfortunately he got technical problems.
And we can try to add CA
Yeah.
back on to the stream, see if the issue is fixed.
Test. Can you hear me guys
Yes.
now? Excellent.
You're back.
Good. So
Awesome.
yeah, just like a small thought here. I mean, AI rapidly like evolving. It's crazy. A lot of people probably don't like realize how far it already is. I think it's definitely like gonna happen, right? Once you start basically enhancing the training models of AI and kind of give them data from previous hacks, from vulnerabilities, combine this with like real life, like real time data access to like vulnerability disclosure databases, etc. And you could like basically build an AI hacker that literally like not just like will hack sixes, right? I mean, it's exciting and concerning times ahead of us. It's crazy, right? Like we've all like had like conversations with AI over the last nights. Me and Tony can like talk and tell you like long stories of that, but it's good. I think humans need to realize that this is a potential extension of your brain. This is a tool we need to use. It will help us become better, right? We shouldn't be afraid of it, right? In regards like to, oh, this is going to replace us and stuff. I think we should look at it as something like complementing us. Right. And definitely like interesting one. Yeah, to the question that I picked, it was earlier like in the chat, I see Jay Marin posted, it's easy always to talk about achievements in a project. So I would like to know if AtomicDEX has had limitations, obstacles, weaknesses in the development of the wallet and how it has managed like to overcome them. And I think that's a really like good question because we had a lot of like difficulties right in the past. Many, right? I mean, technological difficulties, non-technological difficulties. With the technological ones, I'm a human who's not just certain, a human who knows that technological problems are here to be solved. There is no technological problem we can't solve as a human, right? But looking at the non-technological problems, and that's similar like the liquidity problem, right? Like the technological component is something we can solve quickly. The non-technological one is the hard nut to crack, right? So, I mean, we've started literally as a startup worse than the ones that started out of a garage because they were in the garage together every day, etc. We were just like online, some crypto enthusiasts, some hackers, some security experts, you know, like etc. And that kind of formed the initial team and vision and project.
Oops, did we lose the connection to Kadan?
Uh-oh.
Let's give it a moment to see if the reconnects.
Yeah, very interesting place actually.
Yes, too bad. Probably the internet went down, but he probably will be back in just a few moments. Perhaps we can then find another question and then get back to the.
Let me pick up another one with some thumbs up.
Let's see. Top questions.
All right. So yeah, there's a question. What do you plan to do for AtomicDEX to reach more people, or to get more users? I believe. Yeah, it should be on top. It's 2 thumbs ups, so you can jump top. Yeah, it's like this Fertes 4579 ask.
Okay, excellent.
So yeah, that's a very good question because it's quite challenging, right? Because target audience is not that crazy huge for the cryptocurrencies in general, and then you're reducing target audience even more when you starting to think about the non-custodial exchanges and non-custodial wallets. Like not many people for now like really need that. So at first we target like on like this wallet's audience. So we promote the AtomicDEX as a wallet at first. That allows us to target on the wider audience because more people want wallets than the AtomicDEX, Atomic Fast-based DEX. So we target wallets audience first, and that's part of the plan. And yeah, right now we are delivering the application, like a mobile application, to stores. Right now it's quite tricky, like to the newcomer. When it will get to the AtomicDEX.io website, I'm not able to download application like on mobile from stores, let's say, stuff like that. So now like application will become fully available, and we will start to actually reach more people through the paid advertisement, like cross backlinking, more intensive like a SEO campaigns, like more quizzes like that, or more activities like that, cross collaboration with other communities, collaboration with the projects which are listed in our wallet, and all things like that, like with a goal and a core target to enlarge like the wallet like user base, and then convert this wallet user base into the more like a DEX users. And besides of that, besides these activities, we'll also actually collect more and more feedback from the people from the community. We want to know and understand like what really people want to become like a ultimate DeFi hub in the future, and to make the product for people. Like I think that's one of our key benefits. Actually, we hear for the feedback like in Discord. Usually like listen for the feedback, parsing through that, and our GitHub is open. Like everyone can open the issue, everyone can contribute the code actually, or at least his asset, and you don't need to pay like 5-6 digit sum to be listed in the wallet. You can just open pull request and add yourself. So by interconnecting like a more and more community to be open, I think we will be able to reach to more people, and that's how we view like on the plan. And yeah, next year we'll actually like kickstart it. So, yeah, good question. Actually.
Excellent. And also the quick reminder for everyone in the Slido. So remember to add your username from the top corner. So you go to user settings and you click your profile and add either Discord or Telegram nickname that you're using. Because if you win a bounty, then that way we know how to reach you. Otherwise, there's no way to reach you. Do we have a CA back? Are you back online?
Okay.
Looks like. Can you hear us?
Hello, guys. Yeah. The dropping. It's actually there's a WebAssembly module which like the browser tries to load, right? Like for these multimedia features of my security settings will not allow me to initiate an unsafe evil module, which like this WebAssembly module is. So I had like to switch like to another browser and deactivate like security method. Yeah, I'll post it to you guys later. But interestingly enough, there's a bug in StreamYard or in the browser. Depends. So yeah, just like to touch base again, like on that question, I think I didn't like fully answer it, is that the obstacles we faced were many, right? Like I think the key obstacles weren't technological, it was, organizational stuff. How can we increase efficiency? How can we enhance communications within the team? How can we get an overview? How can we start tracking success and progress? How can we enhance, obstacles and bottlenecks, within the dev flow, etc. And it's a very like complex topic, right? It's like organizational management. It's like a living organism, right? That you need to feed and say nice things to, and sometimes bad things to. No, leave that part. But adding some organization, adding structure to the team has helped us like tremendously, right? Recurring team calls, it's at the end of the day, it all boils down to communication, right? That's the abstract kind of term for everything that we did that kind of like helped us, fix the problems, etc. So yeah, this is really like kind of like a wrap up to this answer from Jay Marin. Yeah, Jay Marin was his name. And there's any additional questions you guys did pick or want to dive into if we still have time? I'm not sure.
We can be flexible with the time. I think we are close to the end, but there's time for like 1 or 2 questions. Of course, we did promise to pay a bounty for each question answered, and so far we answered 3 live questions. And I also, again, I heard in a DM from the admins that are monitoring that the members whose questions we answered, G Marine and Pupadou, they are telling me that you cannot be found from Discord or Telegram. So be sure to add your Discord or Telegram name. So it's still not too late. So go to the settings and change your name to an ID that we can find either from Discord or Telegram. So otherwise, there's no way to pay the bounty. But yeah, do you see any other question you would still like to grab and answer?
I mean, maybe just, like slightly. That was Jay Marin's question. If you have one you want to pick out, feel free to.
How about this one? Like I cannot answer this, but this seems good to me. Like how, because I know there's answer this. Like what plans does Komodo have to improve the user experience on AtomicDEX? So what are we actively doing? And I think there's tons of we are doing, right?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it's a steady, ongoing, like quality assurance oriented development. So it's like iterative steps, enhancing it. We're heavily orientating towards well-vetted user interface systems, right, in the industry. We are, in addition, like, collecting like user feedback. Tony can add like some information here as well.
Yeah, sure thing. So yeah, first I would like to highlight that we do have dedicated people to that, dedicated to that goal in our teams. There's like a designer and UI UX researcher as well, UI UX designer. So we are constantly brainstorming on how to like make things simpler. We are checking like what our competitors doing. Yeah, most of the things are not applicable because atomic swaps are different, but still like there are many useful moments. And yeah, and as I've mentioned, like answering on one of the previous questions, we plan to start collecting more and more feedback from the community and from our users, especially since we are now making our products officially public. I think it will help a lot, like different surveys, UI UX interviews, and because there are so many things which are possible to improve, and it's just endless possibilities. But yeah, we want to ask users like what they want to be improved first, and to sharpen our focus and to make applications better.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I want to just expand by saying that like the app is for the users, so for you, the audience there, for the crypto users, for the industry, and I'm on the Komodo Discord on a daily basis, so I'm there to hear your thoughts. So feel free to just join the Komodo Discord and tell us what you think of the app, what kind of features would you like to see. Maybe you find a bug, or maybe you find an area could be improved. So all the feedback is very critical to us, and it helps us to make the design choices. And I'm being kind of the bridge between the community and the team. So I'm collecting what you guys are thinking and saying, and then I'm forwarding that to our QA team and the designer team and the developer team, and then they can take in the comments and the insight that we get from you guys. So it's very vital that you do that. So I do invite you to join the Komodo Discord and get involved. But I think that's then it. We are approaching the end.
Yeah, maybe one more question.
Yeah, you're gonna go for it one last time, but this is gonna be the last one.
Right. Let's say what are the team plans for increasing KMD utilities in AtomicDEX in the future? Because we do have like an item related to that on roadmap actually. So at first, I would like to highlight that there is already like a sum of the KMD utility and application, because at the moment, if the asset on the taker side is KMD, you are paying less fee, fees decreased. And yeah, we'll additionally highlight it in the interface in the future. Another plan, like was the roadmap, is to add opportunity to pay taker fee in KMD, and yeah, it can help to save quite a good amount of money on transaction fees. Because, for example, right now when you are from the atomic swap, and let's say you are selling Bitcoin, you're selling you take a fee payment. Usually it's super small, and transaction fee might be, let's say, right now it's quite fine, like a $1. But if we'll provide opportunity to the user to pay this taker fee and KMD's, transaction fee will be like a much less than 1 cent. So it will allow to save $1 on every swap. And besides of that, it will increase a bit the demand for KMD, because yeah, you can pay 1 cent instead of $1, so saving. And if you highlight it in the interface additionally, I believe it can increase KMD utility a bit. But yeah, there are that we are kind of making more plans on that, but yeah, no announcements yet.
Yeah, there's been a lot that we've been saying, and also some updates coming in the Komodo Discord regarding this question, and it is something that the team is constantly thinking, and it's evolving. And yeah, I'm also excited that once we would unable to talk more about the plans, but it's definitely something that is not going away. KMD for forever.
Yeah, I think it's a very important question for our community, right?
Yes, that's our most asked question alongside the liquidity question, which also was answered here. So I think with this AMA, we provide answers to all the most frequently asked questions. But if there's more, just come to our Discord and ask there for a follow-up. But right now we are going to be moving.
And we will have one more event like shortly, right? In the Discord, this Discord hangout. So we'll be able to answer more questions and chat like a more like an informal way, etc.
Yeah, there's more AMAs coming. Also there's the Binance AMA. I'm gonna be letting you know about the dates just in a moment here when I wrap it. So tons of chances to ask questions, and again, like we are always on Discord. So honestly, it's like a 24/7 AMA. If you have a good question, I will try to find the answer for you. And with that said, now we are at the end. So any closing comments, thoughts? Tony, let's start from you. Anything you want to share? Say.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined it. Yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest in our tech. Yeah, I hope you got some helpful information. Besides the good bounties, right? Some helpful information on our products, and yeah, I hope you will be our users. And yeah, please report anything you found, any your ideas, and yeah, it will help us to make a better product together and make industry better. And in the end, I hope that industry will make the world better. So it's kind of this butterfly effect. I think that every small contribution is very important. So yeah, everyone
Exactly.
welcome.
Well said. Let's make the industry great. What about you, Kadan? Any last words or thoughts to wrap it up?
Just appreciation, yeah, for everyone who's joined the call, and maybe also like a big shout out to the team, to the Komodo team, all the developers, everyone who's like watching this stream now or is gonna watch it later on. Also, like big thank you to you, because without you guys and girls, this all wouldn't like be possible. We wouldn't be sitting. We wouldn't like be able like to talk about fancy, like technology and act in a way like we've done it like alone. There's like a huge team, like working on this, and yeah. Big thank you here like to everyone. And as Tony just said, please test the application, provide feedback. If you have good ideas, provide them. We will very soonish like kickstart a huge like bounty button campaign, right? We'll put like a big figure up. So really like good feedback and good inputs. They will not just like be appreciated, by a thank you, but we'll literally like be assigning tips and bounties. And like this could be a great like opportunity for someone to start a career with us, right? So don't feel yourself kind of like blocked, or don't feel like not skilled enough or something. Really, any input could turn out a genius input. So yeah, go ahead, test it, and let us know what you think. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It was good to have the AMA and good to have you guys here. So big thanks to you, Tony and CA, for being here and answering all the questions. That they were excellent answers. And we are gonna just end the stream here in a minute. I'm just gonna let you guys know what to come, what to expect from the next few weeks and months, and what to do. So first off, again, just go to AtomicDEX.io, check out the web app, and check out the other mobile and desktop releases, and then join our Discord at komodoplatform.com/Discord, and there you can give us some feedback and join the community. That's the heart of Komodo here. And then there's also a Discord hangout coming this Friday at the same time as this stream was, so that's 3 p.m. UTC, and that's going to be more like a casual hangout, so you can just come and chat with us. We plan to have another little quiz there. So yeah, be sure to join and check it out. And then lastly, there's also a lot of other stuff coming. So we have a Binance AMA coming very soon. It's on December 12th. It's 12 UTC noon. So at the midday UTC time, sure. And there we have a $5,000 bounty pool. So also be sure to come there, and we are going to be announcing that shortly. And then there's another round of sending questions. So if you think there was some question that didn't get answered yet, then that's another opportunity to ask us that question, and then join it on the Binance platform on that time. And Binance they have also a fun event structure. So come there. Then next up, something Kadan already mentioned, we are preparing a big bounty program and a campaign. So there's going to be a huge bounty pool available for critical bugs and feedback. And we are going to be announcing that later. So that's something that is up and coming. So stay tuned for that. Then lastly, we are going to be preparing the end of the year report as we are closing the year. So also wait for that announcement and read what we achieved and what we look to next year. And also already like our community was having some discussion that we should do something regarding this. Like they were hoping we do a Discord, a Twitter hangout. So we're going to be seeing if we could do some little end of the year event as well about that. So let us know what you think. What do you think we should do? Come to Discord and stay tuned for all these announcements so you can learn more on how to participate and how to send the questions and come to the hangout. So with that, I thank you for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.